Kamala Harris was born in 1964 in Oakland, near the City Hall, where she would later announce her 2020 presidential campaign. She grew up in Berkeley during the free speech movement, the daughter of immigrant parents who met at UC Berkeley while pursuing their PhDs and advocating for civil rights. Her father, Donald Harris, is from Jamaica, and her mother, Shyamala Gopalan, is from India. They divorced when Kamala was 7, and she and her sister Maya were primarily raised by their mother, who passed away in 2009. In the 2019 Democratic presidential debate, Harris criticized Joe Biden for his past opposition to federally mandated busing, which she said was personal. However, she later clarified that she doesn't support federal buzzing mandates either, a position not far from Biden's. Harris's life has spanned different social circles, including Black, white, Asian, affluent, and working-class communities. She spent her teenage years in Montreal after her mother took a university research job there. Harris earned her political science and economics degree at Howard University in Washington, D.C., and her law degree from UC Hastings in San Francisco in 1989. Harris started her legal career at the Alameda County District Attorney's Office in 1990 and became Francisco's district attorney in 2003. She served 2 terms before narrowly winning the state attorney general race in 2010. Harris was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2016. Willie Brown, a former California Assembly Speaker and San Francisco mayor, played a key role in launching the political careers of several politicians, including Governor Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris. Harris, who was once in a relationship with Brown, faced criticism and scrutiny regarding their connection. Despite this, she made significant strides in her career, receiving support from prominent donors and influential Bay Area families when she ran for San Francisco District Attorney. However, she has sought to distance herself from Brown's influence, going as far as to refer to their past relationship as a burden. On the other hand, Brown has expressed regret over the loss of contact with Harris. During her time leading the California Department of Justice, Kamala Harris often chose not to get involved in political conflicts in the nearby state legislature. For example, she didn't publicly take a position on a bill that would have required her office to investigate police shootings, even though she privately believed it was bad policy. The bill didn't pass. She also remained neutral on a proposal to make police collect data on the race and ethnicity of people they stop, and this proposal passed without her support. Additionally, Harris didn't speak out on the significant criminal justice reform known as realignment, despite it aligning with the ideas in her book, Smart on Crime. Some criticized her for not taking public positions on these issues, while others saw it as being pragmatic. Corey Cook, a political scientist at St. Mary's College, suggests that Harris's approach is about focusing on practical solutions rather than ideological positions. He notes that her tendency to choose her battles is because she believes lasting solutions need broad, sustained support. Kamala Harris has consistently embraced a tough-on-crime stance, particularly against domestic violence perpetrators, child abusers, and sex traffickers. After nearly a decade in Alameda County and a brief, unsatisfying stint as a deputy district attorney in San Francisco, Harris joined the San Francisco City Attorney's Office in 2000, leading the Child and Family Services Unit, which handled child abuse cases, a role many saw as unglamorous. Her commitment was evident from her first day, as she organized a celebration for children being adopted into new families. As San Francisco's district attorney, Harris continued her focus on victims of abuse. She famously rejected the term teenage prostitute, insisting on calling them exploited kids, and instructed her prosecutors to do the same. In 2005, she helped pass a bill that criminalized human trafficking in California. Harris's background as a prosecutor, especially her work on sex crimes, is seen by some Democrats as a significant asset in a general election against Donald Trump, who has faced legal issues related to sexual assault and business record falsification linked to an alleged affair with a pornographic film actress. However, Harris's aggressive legal actions, like the arrest of Backpage.com CEO Carl Ferrer on pimping charges, have drawn criticism from civil libertarians and sex worker advocates. Although the initial charges were dismissed on First Amendment grounds, Ferrer later pleaded guilty to money laundering and conspiracy, leading to the site's closure. Kamala Harris gained recognition as a rising star district attorney through her focus on crime prevention, a theme she explored in her 2009 book, Smart on Crime. Her Back on Track program, launched in 2005, was a notable example of this approach, redirecting first-time, non-violent drug offenders into education, job training, therapy, and life skills courses instead of jail time. Although modest, this program was innovative compared to the more punitive approaches of other major city law enforcement agencies at the time. However, some of Harris's preventive measures later drew criticism, particularly during the 2020 presidential primary. For instance, in 2006, she introduced an anti-truancy initiative based on data showing that chronic truants were more likely to become involved in violent crimes. Harris's office threatened to prosecute the parents of persistently absent students, though this was only after various interventions like mandatory meetings with school staff and social workers. While no parents were jailed, a few were fined, and truancy rates in San Francisco dropped by a third, an achievement Harris proudly claimed. In 2010, Harris's office sponsored a bill to expand the program statewide. However, under other district attorneys, the law was sometimes used to imprison parents, disproportionately affecting poor families of color. In a 2019 interview, Harris expressed regret over any unintended consequences of the policy. Kamala Harris's opposition to the death penalty has been one of the most controversial aspects of her career and is often cited by critics as an example of inconsistency. On April 10, 2004, just 3 months after she became San Francisco's district attorney, 29-year-old police officer Isaac Espinoza was fatally shot by a 21-year-old wielding an AK-47. Despite the gravity of the crime, Harris upheld her campaign promise and chose not to seek the death penalty for the shooter. David Hill was ultimately convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole. Harris's decision sparked intense backlash, particularly from the police union, and drew public criticism from politicians. At Espinoza's funeral, Senator Dianne Feinstein stated that the case met the special circumstance required for the death penalty, a remark that drew cheers from the attending officers while Harris remained seated. What are your thoughts on Kamala Harris's scandal being exposed? Share that in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the notification bell to stay updated with the latest in the luxury world, only here at Luxury Mindset. See you in the next video.